What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike, and today, my friends, I'm bringing back another live tips and tutorial video. You guys appreciated the first one, so we're here with episode number 2. If you love the content, if you enjoy it, if you want an episode number 3 versus top 100 opponents, because over this past weekend, I'd played maybe 4 or 5, and if you want to see all the results right now, you can't wait. There is a video out, 40 and 40, kind of my FUT Champs journey. Remember, it's just the highlights, not the full match, but you can see the results. How did Mike show up or not show up? Did he get disconnects? Did he not get disconnects? The point is, I'm going to bring that video out tomorrow. If we get 1,000 likes within 24 hours, I'll let you guys kind of incentivize it, and that'll be worth and that'll be against a top 100 opposition, maybe a couple if I want to roll them in a real long video. That's up to you guys. And if you have any questions, get in the comments down below in terms of the gameplay, offensively, defensively, maybe something my opponent did. I'm gonna go back and forth with you. I am traveling a bit this week, so work with me. Before we get into the match, if you do need cheap codes or cheap games, make sure to head on over to g2a.com. I'll leave links down below in the description. They're gonna hook it up. And here we are at kickoff. And we always like to start out with that pause if you have the opportunity. And my opposition is in a 4-3-1-2, which is not a bad matchup for me because I'm going to be using a 4-1-2-1-2. We're going to have a battle in the midfield. But in my mind, most people that I play or most people that I match up against, they don't have a better team, even though there are some. And I don't think they're going to be able to outplay me in the midfield if I'm on my A game. That's where I do like the narrow versus narrow. And I try not to rush my gameplay when I'm going up against someone who's in a 4-3-1-2. That formation is incredible for counterattacks and high pressure play. I feel like the players are a little more bunched together in terms of the spacing. And I always try to analyze my opposition's squad when I go into games because it can give you an advantage, and we should really start this out. That's just beautiful build up. Pogba looked like he got taken down. Where's the call, referee? And if you can score early, it's always going to be a good look. I'd say this is going to be a very key game in my 40 matches. You're going to understand why as the video goes on. It'll make a lot more sense. My opponent was pretty solid. Played the typical 4-3-1-2. Good step over work there. I was wondering how he was going to get on with Insigne, and I think he was using Gomez as a cam. The red Gomez, who is also like 5'5", 5'6", and then the legendary, almost at that legend status, Dybala. We see some build-up work here with Pogba, and it's all about knowing or recognizing your opposition's play style, opponents. I guess yeah, your opponent's team to go with that play style, and look at that for a mistake. Man, I wish I had that one back. Oh, and another mistake. Man, I didn't realize this when I was playing this game initially. Sometimes you get caught in the match and you're not analyzing your gameplay as it's all happening, but wow, we really should have started out with some sort of goal. And kind of a forced pass there. I don't trust Griezmann's off foot. But back to what I was talking about. Understanding your opponent's game style and also the team that they've built will give you so much information about how they're going to need to attack or how they're going to need to defend. Do they have height? Do they have size? Are they physical? Are they weak? Are they small? Are they big? What types of players? Do they have a good weak foot? Are they limited in terms of the skill moves and maybe some of the creativity? Another good counterattack here. Wow, we were all over this guy for the first 15. Oh, that's poor. Well, maybe I shouldn't say poor, but that is another missed chance. Damn. To not be ahead. And what I'm telling myself in these moments in the game is just keep going. Keep making chances, because we all feel like we're getting the bad end of the straw. You ever played the game where you draw straws and you get the short end? That's probably the saying. The short end of the straw. We all feel that way when playing FIFA. As you can see there, his first chance got a good block. I think it came off Blanc's heel. But I'm talking to myself when playing, or at least mentally. Sometimes I'll even say it out loud. That helps me to make better habits or to make corrections to my gameplay when I make an error pass or a poor decision. I do like to, speaking of, a very rare, just bad one-on-one defending there from Kyle Walker. I think I even anticipated that scoop turn and I didn't get it. The finish isn't good, as we're down 1-0 in a game that we literally dominated. Absolutely dominated the first 20 minutes. But that's FIFA for you. And even at this time, I'm telling myself, look, stay calm, stay composed, keep doing what you're doing. You're only going to have an opponent get lucky for so long, or it's only going to be a matter of time until you generate a chance that does go in, or you get a rebound. There you go. Alejandro Gomez. And in the midfield, he's pretty solid too. He had Pjanic, Nainggolan, and I think the informed Brozovic. And then defensively, I've always liked the Serie A, or the Calcio A as we know it in FIFA. It's pretty solid. He's got a full Calcio A. Another mistake. Please tell me you're getting something here, Mike. No, just bad decision making there. Kind of a rush chip through ball. Maybe I'm feeling the frustration. Because when you're in a game that you know you should have had maybe 1, maybe 2 goals, something should be on the board. To be in a position where you're losing can be very tricky, and a lot of people struggle with the rebuttal feature. If you don't get a quick rebuttal or a quick counter or a quick, basically a quick rebuttal or a quick counter, if you don't get on the board shortly after conceding, sometimes people start to really and truly fall apart. That's got to be close, that offsides call. Let's see it again, just barely from Griezmann. Inches, just leaning a little bit in the wrong direction. And then defensively, when I'm chasing matches, I often don't like to change mentality, and sometimes people will try to crucify me for this if you watch the live streams, but it's all about comfort, and I can manually be a little more aggressive with my midfield or my defense. I don't necessarily need to switch mentalities or get crazy and start switching formations and all sorts of different tactics and instructions. And I'd recommend that to anyone that's watching this video. If you struggle with creating pressure after going down a goal, it does not mean that you need to switch formations, that you need to make a bunch of tactical changes. Not this early, especially not this early. You just need to make sure that you're staying focused, your build-up is still good, nothing changes with your attack. Should have dropped that off with Griezmann. And then defensively, if you want to be more aggressive, increase maybe your double teams. Put a little more of that manual pressure where you're moving players up the pitch on your own. You don't have to start going to balanced attacking, ultra attack, and you don't have to go 3-4-2-1. It's not that time. It's way too early. Almost a counter created there off, was that a corner kick? Build up still looking good. We're not taking as many shots. All right, we're in the box. Come on. Oh, God, Mike. I'm remembering this match more and more. I thought about writing down some notes prior to getting into the game because I would know exactly when every chance was happening, the opportunities, but I kind of like doing this video off the cuff where we're having a little more of a conversation. I'm kind of giving you what I was thinking during the game because I can see it in my gameplay where you see the happiness, the frustration, sometimes just the thought process in terms of what was I trying to do, what was I trying to generate. Overall, my build-up's been fantastic in this first half, or my attack's been fantastic, I should say. Some of my build-up, it could be a little more on the ground. I've probably seen, I would say 2 chip through balls that were just a little bit extra. Didn't need them. It would have been better if I would have kept the play on the ground. But at the same time, I had a couple that put me in a position to score right then, right now, and that's a big mistake. Wow. Okay, Neuer. We'll clap it up together. And I remember telling myself, okay, Neuer made a good save there. He made up for the first goal because I was pissed. I remember because the initial goal that my opponent scored, if you remember, it's hit dead center, and that's where Neuer's standing, and it's not hit with a ton of power, but he just kind of flops over. He falls. At the same time, it is from close distance, so I remember saying, okay, he probably deserved to score that one. So, you know, on happy days, wow, driven finish gone wrong. Jeez. I also talked to myself after that saying, Mike, what are you doing? I've been trying to add more driven finish opportunities or more chances. There's one area on the pitch that I struggle with finishing, and I know a driven finish could put me in a better position to either get the rebound or to even score goals, and that's kind of been in the back of my mind. But right there, George Best weak foot is usually good money, but the fact that I went for the driven finish, it kind of decreases your aiming margins, and you have more room for error, and that's no good. You have less room for error, excuse me, that's no good when you're doing the double tap or the driven finish versus if you just powered up, went across the body, at least for my comfort and what I'm used to doing. So we don't make any changes at half. I'm still telling myself, look, Mike, you're making more opportunities. You're creating good chances. You've been able to get in behind his defense. You just made the wrong read, and you can see that in this game. There's a couple big mistakes my opposition made that I didn't capitalize, and it wasn't because of his amazing defense. You're seeing I'm trying to throw everything at him or something along those lines, but just a poor half-second read. And I talked about this in an earlier video where, oh my goodness, not the counterattack. This is bad defense. Got a little bit overly anxious, and that's good offense from them, or from my opponent. So what I was anticipating there is, instead of the Berber spin, I was trying to cut off the pass. I saw the 2-on-1 that he had for the pass across. So I overplayed, and he did the Berber spin, made me look dumb. But normally I would be playing for that skill move or the Berber spin. But because I felt that he already had the angle for the pass, I needed to overplay a little bit. It kind of backfired. Not bad offense there. A little more power on that shot across the body from Griezmann, and we'd be back on the board. And after he scored there, I was frustrated, but at the same time, I knew I had till about the 70th minute. Jeez, another bad miss. Wow. This is going to show some mental strength in this game. You guys are going to see, because these are goals that I typically score. We've had one with George Best. We've had a post with Ronaldo. We had one with Laurent Blanc just now from point-blank range. And I'm starting to hit a little bit more of a YOLO mode in terms of wanting to create havoc, wanting to create pressure. But with that being said, I still am not looking to switch formations just yet. That extra touch hurt me there. I think I was overthinking my finishing, because I've hit this point where literally nothing's gone in for me. I'm not getting any of the right bounces. What is a man supposed to do? And I remember thinking to myself, look, Mike, you need to start taking some shots, especially after that miss where I felt that I overthought the whole situation. I told myself, start taking some shots outside the box, whatever. Challenge the goalkeeper, maybe get a rebound, something to break down Handanovic, to get us on the board. And I did kind of count it down 70th minute until I had to make changes, and there we are, Cristiano Ronaldo. Actually, just a stellar finish. It's going to be the only goal in my 40 and 40 that's a half volley with his weak foot. I normally wouldn't even attempt shots quite like this in too many matches. I try to go for efficiency, but nothing was bouncing, so why not? Why not? And that's another thing I've noticed when you're in matches where you just feel the game is not necessarily going your way, it's not bouncing for you. Create chances. Give yourself an opportunity to maybe get a lucky bounce or to make something beautiful, because that goal was just pure class. Very few people would finish that. And now I've put a little more pressure on my opponent, where he's got to think about his next attack. Maybe he goes a little more attacking instead of trying to set up shop. And it's just good to make him have to think about what he's doing a little bit more. Damn, he almost had a through ball there. I think he went threaded through ball, and in that position, it's just best not even to choose the through ball option, as we get a threaded. A general rule of thumb is, if you're using the through ball command, make sure you have a lot of space to work with. Once you get around that edge of the box, not a lot of value for the through ball anymore. Even the chip through ball, which doesn't need quite as much space, just as it goes like this, you just don't have as much room to work with anymore, and that's where you get a lot of errors. The driven pass actually has a ton of value if you're in the attacking third, because even if your player has a bad first touch, it doesn't mean you necessarily lose possession. So that's good to keep in mind. And of course, if you hit his feet and he has a great first touch, you get a shot, you can pass out of it. You can go into skill moves if you want. Either way, the ball gets there quick enough to cause problems for your opponent. Speaking of kind of suspect first touches that almost work out here. We're trying to get some 1-2. You can see I'm still pushing bodies. And in my mind, after I got that goal, I'm thinking, cool, I just need one more chance. I'm due for a good finish. And my opponent actually looks like he kind of got, what's the saying? Stay woke. I don't think I'm using that right, but he kind of woke up, I would say. He was kind of sitting back, looking to catch his counters. And after I got the goal, I noticed that he looked a little more ambitious. I'm still liking my build-up. It doesn't seem that rushed. I've made the wrong decisions in certain circumstances. But outside of that, is the ball in the right place? Do the right players have the ball in those attacking areas? Yes. And you can see my defense is a little bit more wild, a little higher push up the pitch. But at the end of the day, we're in the 78th minute. If you're not going for it now, then what are you really doing? I think I'm contemplating a pause right now as well to increase some pressure. Damn, George Best was wide open, and then we get kind of a poor pass afterward, which I decided it's a good time for the pause because the ball's going out. And I wanted to give Griezmann a breather. I didn't know if I might have to whip in some crosses or look for some bounce back opportunities, but I know Kluivert's a little more physical. Of course, he is not tired whatsoever. It's a good super sub to have. I packed him in a monthly, so he's free. A lot of people send me messages about my team like, bro, I didn't put much money in the game. So all we did there is we increased the pressure, aggression, and the speed of play. So I'm hoping to throw more bodies forward. I think I'm going to go ultra attack here as well. I mean, if you're not going for it, who wants a 2-1 loss? That's not what this is all about. I'd rather have a 3-1 loss and then have the possibility of maybe drawing even in the game as we get a pretty solid win. Getting the ball forward. It's always best if you can get the ball forward quickly, but at the same time, if that causes you to rush too much at the end of a game, then it's not really the best choice. It's not necessarily a good look. Our traps right there, man. I've only made a couple mistakes really in this game. I could think of 3 mistakes and he scored on 2 of them. So my opponent has been, or 3 big mistakes. Man, I don't know if I say big. 3 real mistakes. And my opponent's just been efficient, as you see him kind of swinging the ball around there. We've got the new man, Kluivert. Makes a defensive error. What you going to do with it, Kluivert? Can we return it to Kluivert? Beautiful run from Best. And you can see his nerves there, actually. So he should have had a tackle on Kluivert, but he doesn't step. So I'm able to just take one more touch, line it up, make sure it's on his weak foot, and we're going to put this in. And now I'm not changing anything other than the custom tactics, because you don't really want to have 90 pressure, 90-something aggression. I don't know many people that play. I don't know anyone, actually, that plays that as their default. So I'm thinking, cool, we got time. I've still got a great team, and I've been playing well. It has not been bad for me in this matchup. So let's go ahead and return to what I was doing. I think I want to be on balance, though, because I'm looking to push on for that winner instead of being on my normal defensive. The way that I play defense and that I move the players manually and I push them up the pitch, mentality isn't as important for me. If I'm playing attacking or balanced or defensive, they can all look a little bit different just based on how I'm moving my players. And that's what I've always tried to stress to people, that how you play, the custom tactics you have, all that goes into one kind of packaged ordeal. And that's why I've said that custom tactics will make or break you. And the same kind of goes for mentality. What you play on is not going to make or break your gameplay or how well you attack or how well you defend or just the positioning of your players. At the end of the day, you still need to move those players. You're not going to be able to play passively and get far in FUT Champs or even in the higher levels of FIFA. That's a bad giveaway. Wow. Mike, what are you doing in this 90th minute? Oh, another bad giveaway. These are terrible decisions for me. And a lot of times they're cost you in the 90th minute. I got to give credit to my opposition, actually. I thought that he, even though I got the equalizer, I thought he played a pretty good second half outside of the first 10 or 15 minutes. After I got the goal with Ronaldo, I didn't think he played bad. He made kind of one error in the back, and that's where I scored. But overall, I think I had the better run of the play, but I didn't think that he played bad for the majority of the second half. Now, going into extra time, and I don't want this to be a spoiler, you're not going to see me make any changes. I don't have any subs. I'm just peeping his formation, see if he's doing anything. I'm thinking, look, you've had a lot of bad luck in this game. If you get a goal, we're going to set up shop. And it's rare for me to kind of set up shop, have that mentality. I'm talking, I'm not going park the bus, I'm not going ultra defensive, nothing like that if I'm able to get a goal. But am I going to hold the ball? Am I going to possess? Absolutely, because I have not had anything go right for me in this game. That's my mental state at this point. But I'm also feeling confident, and I noticed that he looked like he was trying to hold on in extra time where I was trying to push on for the winner. So I was the aggressor, I was the attacker, and the place that I would get hurt is on the counter. But in the terms of the overall build-up, I was feeling like, cool, this is in my favor. Let's try to make this opportunity. Let's at least put some pressure on my opponent, because for the majority of this game, my opposition has felt pretty confident, I would say. He got a goal kind of against the run of play, and then he got another goal against the run of play. However, I did make that comeback. I'm not going to say it's legendary, but it's important. It's crucial. If you want to win 30-plus games, if you want to be an elite player, what are we doing here? Oh, Mike, you used the driven finish again. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes when you try to add new ways of doing things in FIFA for you, or something that you're not as confident or comfortable with doing, it shows. It really shows. That's just so bad. I missed 2 of those. I had the easy pass across there with Kluivert. Should have been a driven pass across. You guys can probably see the angle. And the reason in that position you use a driven pass versus a regular pass is because the goalkeeper will come out if you used a normal pass. Versus using the driven there. He's just too close. Damn, I think we might have got cock blocked anyway. That came off Kluivert's head. So we are all over him, just all over him. And I remember I'm playing unbalanced. I usually will play unbalanced. Wow, what a mistake. See, we're just killing this guy. What am I doing here? I screw this up. Oh, that should be a shot across the body, and that would be your goal. Wow, this is frustrating to watch. Well, I know why I'm in this situation. A lot of my decisions, and some of this is because I'm second guessing based on my poor finishing throughout this match and based on bad luck. I'm overthinking, and I'm thinking, or I'm second guessing some of my choices. Should I pass here? Should I shoot? Instead of just rolling with it, instead of just coasting, instead of just bringing you those instincts that you've kind of built up from playing FIFA. Kind of some dangerous play there. You could say it's composed out of the back, or you could say it's dangerous or risky. I wouldn't be mad at either one. But that brings us to the second half. Oh man, we have just been blasting this dude, absolutely destroying him. But at the same time, we have nothing to show for it. Nothing at all to show for it. What you gonna do, Mike? And I'll be the first to tell you guys, and you might have noticed this in my last few 40s and 40s or 40 and 40 series. I haven't had a lot of penalty kick games because I win a lot of matches in extra time, and then the removal of custom formations made it where it was easier for me as we get the finish. Not the prettiest of finishes, but here we are, we're on the board. Custom formations used to make it really easy for people to slow down games and kind of push you for a 0-0 and go to penalties. But now without that being involved anymore in FIFA 17, at least in FUT Champs, your opponent cannot set up shop quite as easy, especially not with good connection. I will say some of the South American guys still hit with the park the bus, and it's a miserable experience. First to a goal. And I don't mean to push that just on South Americans. I just have more of a struggle building up, making those attacks versus South Americans due to connection. So when they park it, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a long game. Not good defense, but a great save. Manuel Neuer. That's what I'm saying. He's earning the paycheck, earning the big bucks. And he's still pushing it in. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, cool, we're in the 112th minute. You need to hold the ball. Nothing has gone right. Don't allow him to get back into this match the way that he kind of allowed us to get into the game. Let's try to get into our next game. Let's carry over some momentum and not think about all these situations that I've blown. And you're going to see it. And I'm thinking to myself too, is this guy pressuring well? I don't want to reward you for not pressuring. Look how far back his line is. Is he moving those defenders? He's not. And when I'm thinking about this as a player, I'm like, look, it doesn't make sense for me to give this guy the chance to counter, because all game this guy has just counterattacked me heavy. All game. That should be some sort of foul, but it's not. And I don't want to lose the ball in the midfield. I don't want to lose the ball in the back. I want to get it up to the Ronaldos, the Georgie Best, the Griezmanns, or in this case the Kluiverts, and let him kind of shield a little bit and pass it around. Make him show me what kind of plays that he's got in his locker. Are you striving for greatness or not so much? And that's why you're seeing me kind of on the lines. It's not much shielding actually happening, but you could see that he's not moving his back line. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if he's given up at this point. You know, he had this game in the bag. But you can kind of see me just dancing and prancing a little bit down the lines, you know, clocking the game. And there's some of that classic shielding. I don't do this often, but like I said, I had hit a maximum frustration state in this game, kind of with myself and just feeling like, oh man, I've been really unlucky, as the whistle is blown, and that's going to bring us to full time. So remember, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you need some help on with gameplay, get down below. And if you want to see myself versus top 100 opponents, drop a thumbs up, and I'll have a lot more content come for you ASAP. Don't forget to hashtag it. Peace.